Oh, hello, ladies and gents, and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, let's talk about superbike from Trek, and this time it's gonna be endurance comfortable superbike. You can think about this superbike as a Mercedes S-Class or maybe like a Rolls-Royce Ghost. And yes, I am talking about the 2021 Trek Domane SLR 6 road bike. You see, this Trek Domane platform, who is this platform for? So Trek Domane is all about endurance and comfort and long days in the saddle. This is probably the most comfortable bike you can get on the market, just because it has this Trek's own patented ISO speed technology front and the back, which will gonna make your ride super comfortable. So definitely, if you like your long days in the saddle to be very comfortable, then definitely have a look at the Trek Domane platform. When we talk about the price of this bike, the retail price is $6,800 or approximately 6,150 British pounds with the current exchange rate. So make no mistake, I mean, this is not a cheap bike. It's an eye-watering price. But as I always say, you should be nice, negotiate nicely, and talk with your local Trek bike dealer and see what can be done with the price. Basically, I think you should negotiate this price down for approximately 15%, and it is possible as long as you are nice and you behave nicely. Of course, now all of the bike manufacturers have a lot of delays with delivering the ordered bikes. You probably need to wait until like May or June 2021. So you're gonna have to be a bit patient and then wait a few months and then go and negotiate the price of this bike. Now let's talk about the paint scheme on the bike. So luckily for you, Trek Domane SLR 6 comes standard with 3 paint scheme options. So you have this beautiful Viper red with hints of white, then another beautiful pure white with the kind of hints of metallic blue, and a very classic black and red, or as Trek would call it, like the radioactive coral and the Trek black. All 3 paint schemes look amazing to me, and definitely I'm glad that Trek is offering out of the box 3 paint schemes for this expensive superbike. Also keep in mind that on this level of the Trek Domane SLR, you can go into the Trek's own customization program and you can customize this bike, so the price can go very high if you choose to go that route. But for now, we are focusing on the classical retail price and the standard equipment on this bike. So let's dive in and let's see what do you get for your hard-earned money. We'll kick off with the frame and the fork. So you see, this frame is a carbon fiber frame from Trek, their 700 series OCLV carbon. It has a front ISO speed technology, also it has a rear adjustable ISO speed technology. The frame has an internal storage compartment on the down tube. It has, of course, the internal cable routing. It has flat mount disc brakes, 12mm through axle at the back, and also you have a chain keeper and fender mounts on this carbon fiber frame. So there are a few points to mention here on this carbon fiber frame. So you see this 700 series OCLV carbon. This is top of the line creme de la creme that you can get when it comes to Trek Domane platform. Although Trek has their 800 series OCLV carbon, but that carbon is reserved for their Trek and Monda bikes. So when it comes to Domane series, this is creme de la creme carbon fiber frame. Also, as I said, there is an internal storage in this frame on the down tube, which is very nice. You can store, for example, your extra inner tube, some tools, or even some food. This is very nice addition. And also for me, it's very nice to see that they've included fender mounts and a chain keeper on this frame. When we speak about the ISO speed technology, I will just briefly mention that you have the front ISO-speed and the rear ISO-speed technology. The rear one is adjustable. So on the rear, what does it mean? Rear ISO-speed means that your seat tube can move independently from the top tube. So of course this is contribute massively to the comfortable ride. And the similar thing is at the front. When you look at the front ISO-speed, basically the steerer of the fork can move a bit independently, and again it's going to massively contribute to the comfortable ride. At the front, don't worry, your steering is, Trek has sorted the steering, so you're not going to feel any wobbly feelings just because the steerer of the fork is moving. So this ISO-speed technology, absolutely superb technology, and everybody who has ridden the Trek Domane is always fascinated how smooth that bike is. When we talk about the fork, this is the Domane's SLR carbon fiber fork with the carbon steerer. Again, fender mounts, flat mount disc brakes, and 12mm through axle at the front. So keep in mind that both the frame and the fork, top-notch carbon fiber, creme de la creme offering from Trek Domane range. And also keep in mind that it's a lifetime warranty from Trek when it comes to their frames and the forks. So on the frame set, absolutely no complaints from me. It's a top-notch selection here. Now let's talk about the wheel set on this bike. You will get the Bontrager Aeolus Pro 3V carbon fiber wheel set. When we talk about this wheel set, let's dive in a bit into more detail. So this is an OCLV carbon fiber wheel set, and this is the 25mm inner rim width or the 32mm outer rim width. The hubs on this wheelset are something that Trek calls Rapid Drive 108 hubs. I'm not sure is this some kind of Trek's own production or they collaborated like on some other wheelsets with DT Swiss. This is something you might want to check with your local Trek dealer. And I really hope these hubs will be reliable. Of course, this wheelset is a tubeless ready wheelset and 12mm through axles front and the back. The things that I wanted to check is a bit more in the technical specifications about the weight of this wheelset. So you see the front wheel will be 720 grams and the rear wheel will be 855 grams. So in total we have 1575 grams, which is a very competitive weight for this carbon fiber wheelset because it's an endurance wheelset. So that's a very, very good addition from Trek. Very good carbon fiber wheelset. And as far as I know, Bontrager Aeolus carbon fiber wheels come with a lifetime warranty on them. And of course, this wheelset has 12mm through axles, both the front and the back. And these are again Bontrager's own production, Bontrager switch through axles. I will leave all these links in the video description so you can read a bit more about the Bontrager Aeolus carbon fiber wheels, and also you can read a bit more about the famous Trek ISO-speed technology. This wheelset is wrapped in the Bontrager Art 3 hard case tire, and I'm really glad that Trek has included the 32C tire. So it's a lot of air volume, it's a nicely wide 32mm tire, and I'm so glad they did it because this bike is all about endurance and comfortable ride. So even when you destroy this tire in the future, I would still buy a new one, which is a 32C tire, and of course these tires that are included are already tubeless ready. Now let's talk about the drivetrain on this bike. So when we talk about the shifter's front mech and the rear mech, everything is Shimano's Ultegra mechanical group set. Absolutely superb mechanical group set. I have no complaints here. So this is the Shimano's Ultegra R8000 group set, or when you talk about the shifters, it's going to be R8020. And one interesting thing when you look at the rear mech on this bike, this is the long cage rear mech. So that means that the maximum cassette you can fit on that is a 34 tooth cassette, which is absolutely brilliant for this endurance bike. Crankset on the bike is superb's Shimano Ultegra crankset, Shimano Ultegra R8000, and this is a 50-34 crankset, and this is paired with the cassette, which is a Shimano's Ultegra HG800 cassette, 11-34 cassette. So now you see 1134 cassette paired with 5034 chain rings at the front. You will absolutely have no problems spending a lot of hours in the saddle and attacking any steep mountains that you can imagine. This is absolutely superb, and I'm glad that Trek is following here this endurance mantra with this bike. Chain on the bike, again, no cutting corners, Shimano's Ultegra chain, HG701 11-speed chain. I'm so glad that there is no cutting corners on the cassette and the chain. Both of them are Shimano Ultegra. You see, I forgot to mention that on this frame, the bottom bracket is this new Praxis T47 bottom bracket standard, Praxis T47 threaded. So definitely shouldn't be no creaking noises from this bottom bracket. Now let's talk about some of the smaller components on the bike. For example, like the saddle and the seat post. So the saddle is the Bontrager's own production P3 Verse Elite. Nothing special to mention here. Saddles are a personal preference, and if you have your saddle that you truly like, I strongly recommend you to keep it as long as possible and even fit it on this bike. Seat post, that's an interesting choice from Trek. It's a carbon fiber seat mast cap. That's a standard stuff that Trek does on their high-end bikes. I'm glad it's a carbon fiber, this seat mast cap. It's definitely going to soak up some of the smaller road bumps, so absolutely fine here, 20mm offset, and again, nothing special to add, but at least it is a carbon fiber seat mast cap. When it comes to the handlebar and the stem, the good thing is that you will get a separated handlebars and the stem. And the reason why I like it is that it gives you a lot of options in adjustability and also a lot of options if you want to replace this handlebar, replace this stem in the future. This handlebar out of the box is a Bontrager Pro ISO Core handlebars. These are carbon fiber handlebars, OCLV carbon fiber handlebars. Superb choice. And for example, they will be, if you choose the frame size, I don't know, 56 or 58, they will be 42 centimeters wide or 44 centimeters wide. So again, top-notch selection, carbon fiber handlebars. A stem is a Bontrager's Pro stem. This is a classical aluminium stem, and again, the length of the stem will depend on the size of your frame. So you have a aluminium stem with the carbon fiber handlebars. It's a classical combination. And if it really bothers you in the future, you might even upgrade this stem to the carbon fiber stem, but I just wouldn't bother with that. Now let's talk about the braking system on this bike. So you will have a superb Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes, and these are with the famous Shimano RT800 braking rotors with the ice freeze ice tech technology, and these are central lock braking rotors with 160mm braking rotors front and the back. Absolutely superb braking system. I'm a huge fan of Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes, and I have no complaints here. And also, as I was mentioning, on the down tube of the bike, you will have this internal storage compartment, which is a great addition for an endurance road bike, so you can stuff a lot of little small things inside or even some food inside. Now the total weight of this bike for the size 56 is 8.7 kilograms. So absolutely, this is not a light bike. 8.7 kilograms is a lot in my opinion. I wish they could have even trimmed a bit the weight down, because this is the top of the range SLR platform, but it is what it is. 8.7 kilograms for an endurance road bike. It's just standard stuff, nothing special. A bunch of other manufacturers can do similar endurance bike weights. But also keep in mind that this is not some kind of light, stiff climbing machine, and when you compare it, of course, with the professionals who are riding 6.8 kilogram bikes, this can feel hugely heavy, but as I say, this is an endurance road bike, so 8.7 kilograms for size 56 is just average, it's fine. So, in a summary, I will just focus on the question, so do I have any special complaints about this bike? Well, the first thing I always mention is, of course, the retail price of $6,800, which I truly believe you have to negotiate. Be nice, negotiate nicely, drop it down approximately 15%, and then you're gonna get a good deal. Anything special I want to complain here, I can't say. They have really put together a nice endurance road bike with a super quality carbon fiber frame and the fork, with the ISO-speed decoupler front and the back, carbon fiber wheels, Shimano Ultegra mechanical group set, Shimano Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes. I mean, everything is top notch, and I really can't say any special complaints here. So I think this is gonna be it for today. If you like what I'm doing, please do subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you're always notified when I make a new video. And as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Pura Vida!